reminiscing. About 300 miles, about 7 hours. It's almost as big like Hayward, Wisconsin. We got blues and eagles and a little bit of drizzle and over they like
All right, well, good evening, everybody. Call the village board meeting to order. Would the clerk please call the roll?
Trustee Gus.
Here.
Trustee Jensen.
here.
Trustee Miller.
Here.
Trustee Otterson is absent. Trustee Siddick.
Here.
Trustee Wells.
Here.
Attorney Frollo.
Here.
Mayor Hucker.
Here.
And Clerk McDonald is present.
All right, if you would please rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
You're not gonna make the girls leave? All these queens here?
Should I?
Yeah.
Give them the chance. Oh, would
We made the Boy Scouts do it.
the queens like to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
They'd love to.
Come forward. Come forward, please.
Oh, my God.
Line up right here in front of the podium and
All right.
start us off.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right.
Thank you very much. I couldn't have done it better myself. All right. Well, our first item tonight is public comment on agenda items. This would be the time for anyone that wished to address any items that are on our agenda. There's a second opportunity to speak towards the end of our agenda. All right. Nobody jumping up. Then we'll move on to our consent agenda, which includes the following items tonight. Approval of the village board regular meeting minutes of July 27th, 2023. Bills presented for the payment well, I'm just not going to talk tonight. Would one of the girls like to do this? Bills presented for payment in the amount of $1,421,723.56. The monthly public safety report and finance report for July of 2023. Is there anything the board would consider separately? Hearing none, do we have a motion to approve?
Second.
We have a motion by trustee Gus, second by trustee Miller. Discussion? All right, roll call, please.
Trustee Gus.
Aye.
Trustee Jensen.
Aye.
Trustee Miller.
Aye.
Trustee Siddick.
Aye.
Trustee Wells.
Aye.
All right, motion carries. Moving on to my report, I do have the distinct privilege of welcoming the Beach Park Queens. And what we normally have you do, if you don't mind, is come up to the podium, introduce yourselves. You might have to lower the microphone down for the littlest one, and just tell us just a little bit about yourselves, and then I'll have a few comments to add on the end. Don't be shy. Come on.
Hi, my name is Charlie. I'm Little Miss Beach Park, and I like to go to school.
Nice.
Hi, my name is Aliana Martinez, and I am Junior Miss Beach Park, and this is my first year competing in this pageant. Thank you.
Very nice. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Chloe Villagomez. I'm Team Miss Beach Park, and I have also been Little Miss Beach Park and Junior Miss Beach Park, so this is my third year here.
Uh-huh. You got taller.
Hi, I'm Gianna Barber, and I am your Miss Beach Park, and I go to college at the University of Wisconsin-Whitewater, where I'm majoring in elementary education.
Very cool. Very cool. I'd like to appreciate what you ladies have been doing and will continue to do through the year of your service. We had the pleasure of seeing you both at the National Night Out and at Beach Park Fest. and really do appreciate you, being at our public events and sharing with the community what it is that you do. So, again, thank you so much for coming.
John, also they were at movie night.
Oh, and movie night. I wasn't there, so my apologies. Perfect. Thank you so much.
You young ladies are beautiful. Thank you.
All right. Well, on to more boring business. We'll get back to the reports from trustees. First up, we've got Finance Committee Trustee Jensen.
Thank you, Mayor. All I have for you tonight is the date time of our next Finance Committee meeting, September 19th, 6 p.m. upstairs in the little conference room. And we will review the bills that we just paid.
Perfect.
That's all I have. Thank you.
All right. Trustee Gust, we got Parks and Recreation.
Yes, thank you, Your Honor. Just want to say movie night was a success. Perfect night. The Queens made the popcorn with the help of Pat Spencer and his two workers. We ended up having, I counted 150 cars. So
Nice.
I don't know how many people that leads to, but there was quite a few there. The movie was good. Weather was great. And also, August Fest, couldn't ask for a better day. Mark did me well.
Yep.
Give me a perfect day. He came early in the morning, but he had to leave because he had to work. But we had a lot of trophies. We had the race cars. We had the petting zoo. We had 7 food trucks. Just I think everybody had a good time was had by all that day because I couldn't just ask for a better day.
Yeah. It came up in conversation, the thought that maybe at some point earlier in the year, we might see if we could coordinate a food truck event where, since they're all self-contained,
They can drive up.
they could pull into the parking lot or something like that, and we publicize the heck out of it. And it could be on a weeknight too, earlier in the summer, but might be something to throw into the pot for.
I will make a note of that and I will check into it.
Very cool. Very
That
cool.
is my report.
Thank you, sir. And thanks for all your efforts and staff's efforts for putting that together.
Appreciate it. Love doing it.
Yep. All right. Planning, Building, Zoning Committee, Trustee Wells.
Thank you. I have no report tonight.
All right. I see construction's coming along on the Tractor Supply. We're seeing bricks, block being stacked, and
See foundation coming up.
concrete's going to be poured pretty quick, it looks like. So very cool. They claim, we heard that they're claiming they're going to be open by Halloween. So time will tell. I think that's a little optimistic, but
You never know. Well, if they have stand-up concrete, you might,
you never know.
pretty quick. So
Yep.
Interesting.
Or at least Christmas or Thanksgiving or
We'll take it whenever they.
St. Patrick's
Have
Day,
opening.
whenever. Yeah.
Look forward
Okay.
to it.
All right. Public Relations and IG Committee, Trustee Miller.
Thank you, Your Honor. I just had one thing to remind everybody of. If you got this information via email or some people got it over their phone, in a voicemail message, that Waste Management requests that all the waste receptacles be out curbside by 5 a.m. tomorrow morning or tonight. Obviously, they're starting their shifts early because of the heat and won't be probably that hot tomorrow. But regardless, they're on a new schedule. So everybody just needs to be aware and get not 7 a.m., 5 a.m. if
Is that-
it's
is that gonna
tomorrow.
be permanent or just-
No, just for
Okay.
this week.
okay.
Yeah, it's a heat-related decision.
Okay.
Yep, that's all I have.
All right. And next up, Public Safety Committee, Trustee Siddick.
Thank you. I just had a couple of things. I'm glad you brought up Tractor Supply because that was one of the items I was going to ask the status on to see where that was at.
Yep.
And the second item was what updates do we have on that property on Green Bay Road? Because things are looking a little worse over there.
Which property?
Now
Yeah.
I'm sure there's rodents and everything else involved over
On the
there.
Beach Road or the one by 21st Street?
By Beach Road.
Okay.
Yeah, my office is in the process of filing a complaint in the circuit court, and I'm told by the attorney working on it, it should be done in the next week or so. So that's what we've been gathering information about the various violations, alleging them in the complaint. So we should have a lawsuit on file in pretty short order.
Oh, that's wonderful news.
Awesome.
Long overdue for
Yes.
that. I mean, it's looking pretty bad.
Yep.
How much do they do it on purpose?
I don't know.
Some days it's cleaned up, other days it's
Yeah.
terrible.
I've never seen it cleaned up.
Mm.
Yep.
They are testing our patience.
Well, I should say less debris than normal.
Yep.
But thank you for
Okay,
that
sure.
update. Is there anything the sheriff's office
has for us? No,
No.
everything's good? Everybody's safe? Wonderful. Okay, that ends my report. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Trustee Addison's not here, but it looks like it could probably handle both of these. We've got two payment requests, both to Campanella and Sons for two different projects. This is pay application. First up is pay application number 2 for the Wadsworth Road Water Main Interconnect Project in the amount of $710,378.28. Do we have a motion to that effect?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by trustee Gus, second by trustee Miller. Discussion? All right, roll call, please.
Trustee Jensen,
Aye.
trustee Miller,
Aye.
trustee Siddick,
Aye.
trustee Wells,
Aye.
trustee Gus.
Aye.
All right, motion carries. And second to Campanella and Sons for pay application number 2 for Manor Avenue Culvert Replacement Project in the amount of $547,955.10. Do we have a motion to that effect?
So moved.
Second.
This is, again by trustee Gust and second by trustee Miller. Discussion?
Well, you know, I was going to present both of these items, by the way.
Sorry.
Yeah. I have my
Oh,
notes
boy,
all
I
ready to go.
just took that away from
Okay.
you. I'm sorry.
But I just wanted to add, normally this is something that goes through the Public Works
Yes.
Committee.
Yep.
But because these two pay requests were not submitted on time for that committee meeting, that's why they're coming directly to the board at the recommendation of staff.
Yes.
But it's clear, pretty clear from documents that we have that the engineers reviewed it, and we're maintaining a 2% retainage, I think, on both of these projects. Yep.
All
That's
right. Thank you. You did a good job. You could have stopped me.
Yeah.
It's okay. Well, yeah, it sounds like, never mind. I'm not gonna open that can of worms. That's all right. Any other discussion? All right, roll call, please.
Trustee Miller,
Aye.
trustee Siddick,
Aye.
trustee Wells,
Aye.
trustee Gus,
Aye.
trustee Jensen.
Aye.
All right. Thank you. Anything else from Public Works?
No,
Okay.
that concludes Public Works.
Thank you. We did not have a TIF committee meeting, so there's nothing to report there. Next up, we have staff reports. I'll turn that over to you, Mark.
Sure, Mr. Mayor. The first item for consideration is continuation of the Clark mosquito control contract. It's been in place for quite some time. It covers both the village, and a portion of it is paid for Cambridge through SSA number 6. And it's up for a 2-year renewal. So staff's, obviously suggesting renewal. Lake County Health Department, recommends mosquito control for West Nile virus. And we did speak with Clark. That's why we continued from the last meeting. They had indicated that they were, if anything was to be redone and you went out to rebid it, the cost would probably go up 25%. So because of the way it was structured and the fact that it's so long, that's why it's at the cost that it's at. So we would need a motion to authorize renewing that contract.
All right, do we have such a motion?
So moved.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second to authorize the extension of the Clark mosquito abatement contract. Any discussion?
I just have a question on the cover sheet of the budget impact versus budget notes. I don't understand exactly what the budget notes, the one, it's SSA 6 in general. Is that the fund breakout? The numbers are different between the budget impact and the budget notes.
Right. The impact is the actual, the notes are what was budgeted.
Okay.
So that's the difference.
Got it.
We just made an error in the budget on both,
Yep.
Okay, thank you.
balance, but yeah.
Okay. All right, then roll call, please.
Trustee Siddick,
Aye.
trustee Wells,
Aye.
trustee Gus,
Aye.
trustee Jensen,
I guess.
trustee Miller.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Next item is just a raffle request, a license. The board has to authorize approval of any raffles, and for Our Lady of Humility, they're having a small raffle at their upcoming event, and it's not big. It's just small prizes. Day of the event raffle. So they've requested a waiver of fee too. So the board would need to authorize issuing the license and the fee waiver if they so choose, Mr. Mayor.
All right, do we have a motion to that effect?
So moved.
Motion by trustee Miller,
Second.
second by trustee Gust. Discussion? All right, roll call, please.
Trustee Wells,
Aye.
Trustee Gus,
Aye.
Trustee Jensen,
Aye.
Trustee Miller,
Aye.
Trustee Siddick.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Next item. The next item is the request, it's an ordinance for no parking on Green Bay, Wadsworth, and West Dorothy, just for that block off of Green Bay. We got a request last Thursday from Skip, and for the air show, they're requesting no parking. They've talked with the sheriff's department about enforcement of that, for just general safety purposes and loitering. It is a fee. You have to pay to get in the event. So they requested that village enact an ordinance authorizing no parking during the day of the event on those roads. So this ordinance would in fact do that. So
Yeah, I can imagine anybody slowing, stopping, pulling out while the drivers are all looking up in the sky. It's got to be an exciting time. So
people running across the road looking at planes and yeah.
But they're not requesting any closure of Green Bay Road or what?
Not closure, just no parking, no loitering.
No parking for people? or-
Yes, the signs will be put up on all locations where there's no parking.
All right. Do we have a motion to that effect for ordinance number 15?
Second.
Motion by trustee Gus, second by trustee Miller. Discussion?
I have a couple questions.
Sure.
Why an ordinance this time when they normally block off the roads and lack of blocking roads?
They normally close the road
Mm-hmm.
because of the air show box
Sure.
where the planes might crash, apparently.
I've happened before.
Apparently, they're not doing any act that requires that for their air show box. So the no parking would just be that. I think the reason we have to put an ordinance form, I assume, is so that we can ticket.
Yes, sir. The enforcement has to be by ordinance. I coordinated with Attorney Ferrillo on that.
Yeah, that was
so.
my recommendation. If we're going to have enforcement power, typically you want to have an ordinance.
Okay,
that,
then I would like a
sets
few
that
more
forth.
roads included in on this
For this meeting.
for this ordinance. Downline Road, Center and Beach.
Okay.
Dorothy is on there
And you're observing traffic parking on those streets as well?
every time.
Yep.
And
Okay.
Chaplin.
Where are they? Are they just parking there and then walking out to Green Bay
Park in
Road?
my front yard.
They park everywhere. And actually, and honestly, I'm gonna suggest this too.
Mhm.
I 100% think that you guys should close that road during that time
Yeah.
because, if you have the power to do it, because it just becomes a complete train wreck over there.
Yeah.
And I can tell you, I know this is gonna sound like, of course, this comes from me, but I'm sure that there will be a park event going on that day where they're gonna try and put 1,500 people down that road. And
Right.
it's gonna cause congestion as well.
Right, well, normally what has been done in the past is they close down Green Bay Road, that section of area on Wadsworth Road for a while.
Mhm.
They close down York House in Town Line.
Mhm.
And the entrances, once they close Wadsworth and Green Bay, then nobody can get through on the rest of those little side streets unless
Right.
they come through on the backside on
Gotcha.
Wadsworth. So that's why I'm mentioning
The last plane that crashed at that air show crashed in the field across from my house.
right behind my house, yes, it did.
So from a safety perspective.
Yeah.
it would be easy to do that as well.
Well, it used to be that it was the military's behest that was done when they were flying the.
When they have
F-8.
the jet show teams come, whether it's Blue Angels or Snowbirds or whatever, they have a much bigger air show box, and for liability purposes, they don't want anybody. And they were moving people out of houses and all kinds of crazy stuff during that time too. So,
So I just think this, I just think it's important to add a few more roads in there.
September 9th. Yeah. We don't have a board meeting before that time, right? So we would have to amend this on the fly if we're going to do that. What do you think? We can just increase the length or the number of streets in the description?
Yeah, I think that's your only option at this point because, it's not posted on this agenda.
Right.
It is a different ordinance in essence.
Right.
And normally I would recommend that we come back and do that at a different meeting.
Right.
As far as closure goes, I think we're dealing with an IDOT road, right, and a
Right.
county road.
Yeah.
And I don't think we have the authority to close either
Right.
one of those.
We typically would have a a resolution supporting the closure, but we wouldn't be the ones closing
Right.
the road, yeah.
So given the theme of
Yeah.
safety during this air show, I think there's probably enough to amend this because it's for the same reason, correct?
Yep. Yep. What if we were to say, and I don't, this is by the time you pop the top off this can, we might end up with all the streets on the east side of Green Bay Road too. There's not much of a view there, but I guess what I'm wondering is if we were to take a more global look at the description and say Green Bay Road and all roads intersecting with the Green Bay Road between York House and Wadsworth.
The thing I would want though, and Trustee Gus raised this, you've got to notify people through signage. We you know, if we're going to ticket, there's got to be some notice
Right.
of the, you know, inability to park there.
Right.
So however you want to describe it, keep in mind, there's going to be a pretty big obligation to post signage
I would assume
in all these areas.
the signage, maybe I'm assuming wrong, is something, if it's a dead end street, that could be posted once.
I think so.
Yeah. Staff comments on that?
Well, yeah, the signage that I have to consult with Director Spencer on the amount of signage currently available, but the signage that's currently being posted for this is being done by the air show.
Okay.
This is not using village resources for all this no parking at this point.
Right.
So we could ask them if they have some more,
Yep.
you know, obviously.
Okay,
but,
so it was their responsibility to post anyway?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, why don't?
And yeah, they didn't request it because, as you said, the box and safety purposes, they don't need it.
So from the board's perspective, first of all, just a poll, is the board in support of doing something, basically eliminating parking off the side streets off of Green Bay Road? That,
I think it's a good idea.
fit the desire? Okay. And we can certainly request the Port Authority increase the amount of signage they put out. All those roads are basically dead-end streets, or at least if they come back out, they come back out through one of the other streets that would be there. So with the exception of Beach Road, but yeah. And I wonder about the Park District and their property, but that's a whole other story. So,
You know, in the past, the sheriff's department has always utilized the reserve deputies.
yeah, when closing the roads, we would have to have additional personnel and but we're not closing the road. So it would be a matter of whether or not we were able to, because I don't believe that those individuals would be able to ticket. We just have to be a sworn officer to ticket. Am I correct, Phil? Yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll have to have a presence out there, and we'll just have to work with them, see what we can accomplish. So.
As long as some of those other roads, including York House and Town Line, because that's an access through when they have it blocked from
Yeah.
Green Bay.
Well, if I lived on all those roads, I'd have a whole bunch of family members over to watch the air show, and they'd have to park someplace.
I know. This is, like I say, when you pop the can off, the top off this can, it can get a little dicey, but it just would be on-street parking, so you may have to get creative. But the clear challenge is the people that are just pulling off the side of the road and saying, hey, look, there's an air show. Let's watch it from here.
Yeah.
And the non-residents.
Right.
Well,
So-
they come from Wisconsin.
Okay, well, let's amend that instead of, and I think in addition to, I would say all streets intersecting with Green Bay between York House and Wadsworth.
Sure, why don't we do two motions? First
Okay.
motion
To
to
amend?
amend the ordinance to include the change you just
Yep.
suggested. Second motion will be to approve as amended.
All right.
Makes sense?
Yep. So somebody want to tackle, we can word the motion if you want. A motion to amend the ordinance 2023-015 to include all intersecting roads, all roads that intersect with Green Bay Road between York House and Wadsworth. And we can do that, amend the text, and then we can vote. So did you want to make the motion, Linda, to add that language?
Okay, do we need to rescind?
No, we
anything?
haven't approved anything.
Yep, we can.
Sorry.
Yeah, we have we do have a motion and a second on the table.
Okay.
So we should we can rescind that
A
motion.
motion to rescind the prior motion.
Yes, okay, and second, okay. And then we'll go back to the mandatory language. Would you like to make that motion?
So all in favor on the motion?
Oh, I'm sorry. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, opposed. There we go. Thanks, Linda.
Thank you, Mr. Parliamentarian. That's why, yeah, keep me in line. Yeah.
I'll be happy to make the motion with the discussed amendments.
All right, we have it. Well, this would be for the amendments to be added to the motion.
Second.
And second over there, all right. Roll call?
Trustee Gus.
Aye.
Trustee Jensen.
Aye.
Trustee Miller.
Aye.
Trustee Siddick.
Aye.
Trustee Wells.
Aye.
All right, and then the second would be a motion to approve 2023-015 as amended. Do we have that motion?
Moved.
Second.
Motion by trustee Gus, second by trustee Miller. All right, roll call, please.
Trustee Jensen.
Aye.
Trustee Miller.
Aye.
Trustee Siddick.
Aye.
Trustee Wells.
Aye.
Trustee Gus.
Aye.
All right. Thanks for adding that comment, and we'll put that on the try to remember that for next year or whenever the next air show is. That it's going to happen in other areas, but we know it's a state highway and it's got a lot of traffic on it, so we don't need to cause any more problems. All right. Does that conclude the staff reports?
Nothing additional. Thank you.
Thank you. We have no old business to consider. We do have some new business, approving HMG engineering bills totaling $54,449.36. Do we have a motion to that effect? Motion
Second.
by trustee Gus, second by trustee Miller. Discussion?
I have one question. I see a line item on here that either I missed it before or it's new. The third one on their monthly report, PW meeting map. Are they now charging us $654.30 to attend our Public Works Committee meeting?
That is correct.
Well, not that entire amount, but that's part of that amount is attending the meeting, a map, and yes,
Okay.
compiling the
And
monthly
preparing.
report. Yeah, when they're not here.
They need some cheaper secretaries. That's all I have, Mayor. Thank you.
All right. Other discussion? All right. Roll call, please.
Trustee Miller.
Aye.
Trustee Siddick.
Aye.
Trustee Wells. Trustee Gus.
Aye.
Trustee Jensen.
Aye.
Motion carries. All right. Now is time for citizens wishing to address the board. Don't all get up at once.
Yeah, here I'll do it now.
It's nice when I have experienced speakers. They know what to do and what to say, where to go.
I've been attending all meetings, every single meeting, every event, every meeting for the commercial, during the day, at night, around TV. Learning, trying to figure stuff out. I've had a parking problem in Beach Park for 45 years. In Beach Park on North Avenue for 45 years. I've had 5 or 6 acres of Beach Park in the same neighborhood for 45 years. It's been a problem for. Nikki stood up at the last meeting and voiced her opinion about it, and your comment here was, well, have you gotten any tickets or warnings about it? She said no. So, funny part is 4 days after that meeting,
That's what I get.
we get a warning for a $750 fine for having my lawnmower on a open car trailer in my driveway. The driveway is the Kubota tractor, which can drive through that little door. It's been on that trailer in the yard, in the backyard, in my parking, and in the driveway for 7 years. I know there's a lot of people that don't want commercial parking, right? And I'm not saying that it has to, but we have to come up with an idea. Maybe we come up with something where, you know, you can park your commercial vehicle in your backyard if it's in a fenced-in 6-foot fence area or something. But I mean, what you guys consider commercial parking is what the majority of the working class people use everyday vehicles. And I have a 40-foot RV. I have 4 UTVs side by side. I go to Kentucky, Tennessee, Michigan, everywhere. These are all toys. They're all considered commercial vehicles. My lawnmower is considered commercial vehicle. But I mean, I have an 18-year-old daughter who's going to become a union electrician this summer. She's going to be driving a van like mine.
Mhm.
We can only have one commercial vehicle in our driveway. We're going to have three. I have a 16-year-old son that works in construction who's going to have a commercial vehicle. My wife runs a landscape design company in Libertyville, who's technically is going to be labeled a commercial vehicle.
Right.
But it's just a Jeep. I want to help. I want to do what I can. But 8 months we've sat by, I've come, we're trying.
Yep.
We tried to go to meetings, we tried to do anything. Here's something that I'm kind of noticing. We buy our Waukegan water, pay Waukegan taxes. We have problems with the Waukegan Park District, but we have no control over any of this because we're not Waukegan residents. So we have all the negatives, but none of the positives.
Yeah.
So, I mean, at some point in time, we've got to do something about it. Now, 8 months ago, I asked if I could start a petition about this. I was told that we don't do that.
Well, it's not that anybody can do a petition for anything. What basically the comment was probably intended to convey is that petitions have no statutory weight with regards to legislative action that this board might take. But they certainly can reflect the attitude. But I think there's always a little bit of question about how the petition was presented and everything else as to what it says. Yeah.
Hear how it needs to be presented, and done, I would like to do, because the problem that I have is there's about 400 or 500 of us.
Yeah.
If I remember correctly, for you to become mayor, I think you have 530 some votes.
Probably, yeah.
I can have that many votes sign a petition for commercial parking.
Right.
But here's the thing, I don't want to make everybody mad.
No.
I don't want to fight. I want to be able to park stuff in my fenced-in backyard at my house
Mhm.
and be left alone.
Right.
If you want it in the front driveway, that's fine.
Right.
But I mean, I have 2 vacant lots, which I just put a driveway in on a vacant lot. I spent thousands of dollars clearing the lot, fixing the lot, and everything else, because the city neglected it for 20 years. I parked my enclosed car trailer there, which is considered commercial, even though it's recreational.
Yep.
So I need some kind of resolution, I need some kind of
Yep.
direction. some kind of-
So as we explained a little while back, and it's taken a while to get to this point, but our community development director that was in the heat of this left on very short notice a couple months ago. Our new community development director starts on Monday. Now, that doesn't mean on Tuesday we're going to have an answer, but the committee hasn't taken any steps or action for lack of that connection and that passing that information along. Yeah. So that's kind of where we're at the moment. But yeah, it's still on the docket, and sometimes the wheels grind slowly. But yep.
Back to the point where I'm getting $750 warranty and they're parking the same vehicle in the same spot for the last 7 years.
All right. Thank you. Alan?
Alan Hutchison, 762 West Beach. You guys know why I'm here again. Just want to continue to bring up, I know I sent you guys an email this week documenting some street racing going on the street. Got a great shot of it, as well as the camera car that was behind them, filming that to put on the internet, I'm sure. But I just want to really hammer home the fact that our situation on Beach is evolving. That race took place 30 feet from my front door. If one of those cars comes out of control, they're going to take my whole family down. And this is not a once in a blue moon thing. This is all the time. So I can't do anything other than continue to document, continue to ask to change this and fix this. But last time we talked about perhaps we approach what's going on that road as a safety issue. I think that there's an incredible amount of evidence to support that. So I want to continue to document, but again, we need change sooner rather than later. We need to make sure that we can do what we want to do to prevent that, because that's just unacceptable.
So, what he means by drag racing is cars on the wrong oncoming traffic.
Oh, there's a video.
They saw the same video.
Because it's happening quite a lot.
In addition to that, I also had a couple of altercations this week, twice where I had people who pulled into my private property to use as a drop-off point, who were, hopefully, I had 2 police reports from sheriff's department that they were both issued letters warning them about trespassing. So those issues have been documented. And I also had an individual who wanted to use my property to do what he wants with, in his own words. He wanted to park there and drop people off as well. And when I confronted him about it, he became hostile and threatened to come back and, excuse my language, but I'm going to quote him directly, beat my ass. So I spent the rest of my day worrying whether I should be looking over my shoulder for this person to come back and sneak up on me and hit me or hit me with his car or something while I wasn't looking. We live in fear every day, every single day. And it's only a matter of time before something bad is going to happen. Get the traffic off the road. We need to get the entrance moved. We need to do whatever we need to do, whatever needs to happen, to take the threat away. Because the threat is real. It's there every day. We live it every day. And it's getting to the point where it makes me, I'm starting to lose faith in the system. I'm starting to lose faith in the fact that there's something that I can do to protect my family.
Right.
So I'll leave it at that. But again, help us.
Now, it wasn't, a couple meetings ago, wasn't there a request for like a compiling the number of reports from the sheriff's department to come to Village Hall? I think I remember something about that.
The statistics, the speed unit wasn't programmed to do those, produce those statistics, and then it was relocated. It'll be back, and we've got a promise from our liaison that they'll have it back and have it programmed to record statistics. It was not set up that way, it was just showing the speed. So that's still in process, but yeah.
Okay.
No, that's it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So at some point, I'd like to have a committee meeting on all of this, but obviously I have to wait for statistical data and things like that for the committee to discuss.
Yeah, that's your call for sure. If you want to start
And
having some investigation
and have
of
some legal
Yeah.
input, insight on the matter. That way the committee will have something to discuss at the committee meeting.
Well, having seen that drag race video, I'll advocate temporary speed bumps.
Me
If we
too.
put a couple
I'm
of
for
those up,
that.
that you nail them down, you
Yep.
take them up so you don't have to deal with them with the plow.
Yep.
What's it gonna hurt?
I agree.
Put signs up, warning.
Done in the near future until a resolution can be found.
Yeah, there are certainly things we'd have to acquire the proper type, and then we'll probably have to barricade both sides of the right, well, at least the north side of the right of way to prevent them from using the driveways to avoid, or the yards for that matter, to avoid the speed bumps.
You ask what it's going to hurt. And what it's going to hurt is half the problem.
Well, no, half a loaf is better than none. We're not gonna solve the heavy traffic, the threats that you're getting. We can't do anything about that. The Park District can. We can't. We can slow the traffic down. That's about all we can do right now.
But the problem is that when it takes 30 minutes for us to leave our house, and we put speed bumps out there now, it's going to take 50 minutes for us to leave our house because everybody has to slow down to 5 miles an hour. I have
Right.
plenty of photos of that happening as well too, and it's again another safety issue. You have to take an emergency vehicle down that road. A speed bump is going to inhibit the ability to do that.
Well, it'll stop the high speed traffic. Yeah, it's not gonna solve your bumper to bumper stuff, although I don't know to slow them down. They're creeping anyhow. I sympathize with the issues. All we can do is take them one at a time. Those we can solve, we'll solve. Those we can't. All we can do is rely on the Park District's good graces to help us. And so far I haven't seen that.
I respectfully disagree. We need to rely on ourselves to fix our problems for our residents inside of Beach Park. We can't rely on an entity outside of Beach Park to make things safe, especially when they've proven that they don't want to.
I understand. And the point is though, how are we going to stop that? We can't, as we discussed before, our attorneys advise us we can't shut the road off, obviously.
I've had some suggestions that I put forward, but all of those discussions have happened behind closed doors. They haven't happened at a safety committee meeting that I was able to attend or a meeting that I was able to attend. So I don't think it's fair to say there's nothing that we can do so we can take the input of the residents.
Was that information shared with staff that can be forwarded to the committee level? what you just mentioned.
So I try to do a good job of sharing all the information that I can.
Mhm.
I don't know that I can call it specifically. Whenever I have videos that are pertinent issues.
Yeah, the videos I'm aware of, but
We've got
anything else
we've
that
got stacks of
you're-
photographs of the situation on the road, that what he experiences.
Submitted more than 50 pictures in the past.
Yeah.
I've also submitted a.
Yeah, everything that was submitted has been forwarded to the board by email, so
Yeah.
you all have all the information.
Right, I just didn't know if there was something separate that Mr. Hutchinson had just mentioned that I was not aware of.
I have a photo file that goes back 8 years, 9 years of this same issue happening repetitively every night, every weekend for 8 years. I'm 37 years old. This has been 25% of my life that I've been at the mercy of an entity that doesn't care about us. And they've been very open. In fact, in the board meetings in Waukegan, they made it very clear by stating that because I'm not a Waukegan resident, that my opinion doesn't matter. Our safety doesn't matter. They didn't state that. I'm drawing that conclusion, but this is where we're at. We can't rely on the park district to fix it. The park district is still trying to jam that 250-seat banquet hall bar down our throat. That's the same entity that said, "Oh, we're going to put this in, and traffic's going to get better," and they're not going to change the road at all. So, help us.
Just to clarify, have you heard anything further about that facility?
Yeah, it was on the park district's agenda for their meeting that took place earlier this week. Okay, it was labeled opinions for golf venue, so I assume that's what it's for. As well as I've had friends that golf at the Waukegan Park District golf courses, and they've actively been out surveying golfers at those facilities to try and get them to sign paperwork that says that they want that facility to happen. So they are absolutely petitioning and trying to ram that facility through.
Yep.
And at the end of the day, it's not a golf facility, it's a bar. It's
Right.
a 150-seat bar.
Yep. Okay. All right.
Anyway, I apologize.
No, that's okay. Thank you for the update. And as I
Do we know when the sign will come back to that road?
have we heard anything on that schedule, Phil?
I'm working with our vehicle maintenance personnel to try to have it there before Labor Day weekend. I've been promised that, but again, we have a limited amount of speed boards. There's more than one street that's a problem in the county.
Yeah.
So again, to dedicate it for the whole summer in one area.
Yep.
I can't justify it.
Yep.
I can, but we also have other residents we have to, in contracts we have to answer.
Right.
Will we be notified, the village, when it's going to be back in place?
I'll let Mayor Hubbard
Okay.
Are those the same, like I noticed today on Wadsworth Road by St. Pat's School, there was a sign on each side warning people to slow down because school was in process? Are
Those are
those?
different signs.
Those
Those
are-
are speed trailers. is what we're talking about.
Okay,
That actually
okay.
Recording everything else, and our IT is setting up my laptop to be able to program those, and I'll be able to get download all the data, so I'll be the point of contact for all the speed board stuff, for the contracts in areas where we're requested or required or asked to monitor those kind of reports. I have no idea what they're gonna look like. I've been working with Mr. Hutchison and with their tech support to try to figure out the best solution to make sure that we paid for the system.
Yeah.
We should be using.
We should be using it. Yep. Yep.
Did they give you a date when the laptop is going to be ready to go?
Yeah.
Oh, with the software's already installed and ready to program the work?
So the problem is that we don't own our laptops.
Okay.
ETSP owns our laptops, so our IT has to put a request to ETSP to say we can download this
Proprietary.
software on an ETSP approved laptop.
Yeah.
I understand. I'm not splitting hairs, but I just want to make sure that we have the capability, because it sounds like we don't right
As of right now, there are no speed boards that are programmed.
now. And do we have a date by which that's going to be fixed?
I can't make our IT, I can't make ETSP, it's another board, it's another bureaucracy.
I understand.
And I know you're frustrated with bureaucracies, but that's what we live with, so.
I understand. That, just for the record, that is a software that can be installed in 1 minute.
Oh, I understand, but again, it's a permission.
And that's a Lake County thing, not a Waukegan.
Correct, that's a
Yeah.
Have we ever considered having our own speed board?
We have one too.
Does it record?
Yeah, and I've discussed this a little bit about the availability and if there's any sense to putting that out there. There's a certain level of having the sheriff's logo on there, as far as this,
Honestly, we don't even need the card that displays speed.
Yeah.
All we need is the data capture that's
Correct.
out there. So it doesn't
Correct.
matter, it doesn't
Yep.
matter.
Yeah.
And to actually get this while things are in full force because
Yep.
with the traffic, because once the soccer is done for the year and you put it out there and there's no issues,
Yeah.
and that's the data that's
Yeah.
recorded, and that's not
What they did
helpful
last
to
year.
anybody.
Yeah.
Right.
If you recall, they conducted the last study.
Yeah,
Correct,
yeah,
correct.
because that's when the most traffic is out there. Okay.
But
All right.
is it
Well, thank you,
something
Phil. I
we can look
appreciate
at
the.
Speed
Yep.
bumps or things put in until the rest of these things come into play?
We're gonna have to look at that and just see if there's some sense in that. And there are different kinds rated for different types of roads and traffic and all of that as well. It's not just like you got a parking lot and you just throw a bump in
Right,
there,
right.
so.
So maybe staff can kind of work on that and then
Yep.
let us know when that information is available, and then we could put together a committee meeting for discussion.
Okay.
That would be appreciated.
All right. All right. Ted, Carrie, you guys got anything to add?
Well, my thought, Robert, to this whole issue is, we have several villages that have red light cameras.
Mhm.
And they issue ordinance tickets for running red lights or turning on.
Yeah.
Can we put a camera out there that records speed and have an ordinance that we can send tickets to
We're
these
not home
people for
rule.
speeding up and down that road?
No, we're not home rule, so the answer is no.
Yeah.
On speed.
Home roll can, we tried that once. That's the statutory authority that allows larger towns to do things
Get a
like.
referendum to go home
Yeah,
rule.
I
that's,
was talking about a specific issue. We should bring a specific issue to vote and then take the input from the community and use that.
No,
no,
not on that issue. It's,
Yeah.
you don't have the power to do that.
yeah. Yeah, it's, we tried. Okay, well, having no other public comment, we have no cause tonight for an executive session, and therefore,
Might I offer a motion to adjourn?
you sure might, I guess
Then
you did.
consider that to be one.
Okay, well, do we have a second to that making
Second.
motion? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. We are adjourned. Thank you all.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Green Bay Road's still first. I don't know if you've been by there.
Yeah,
It's starting to get cleaned up.
It is.
They said somebody else bought it.
it hasn't looked that good for that
Oh,
time.
yeah.
Difficult situation.
I still remember you won't believe me. Remember? I went to that house one morning.
I will,
They moved
though.
that house at 4:00 in the morning from Zion to Green Bay Road.
Yeah, that's all right.
And I don't know if I told you this story or not. I got there that morning, it was only 9 o'clock. Gave the guy a ticket because they
peel
moved
off,
it
well, I
around
will probably
any
sugar a whole thing,
whatsoever
but
permits to
Steve
fill that
peeled
out, and
off,
then it's a Thursday.
That's why they moved it at 4 in the morning.
Yes,
No, he already did.
because the traffic wasn't bad either. But that guy.
Oh, you gotta collect those.
I
There. The other Mark's not here.
So bad. And I said, sir, I'm just doing my job. I need you all to scream.
Yeah.
He wouldn't do his job. So I just called my boss. And he came out and my boss says, "Got the delivery guy."
I know, I kind of
First
wanted
of all, you
that
don't
to be
got
on there.
no right to put
I
it
mean,
out. You don't
that's,
have no plans whatsoever.
but even
You
the
have a
math,
choice.
we charge
Either
for
come
a
down now,
math
get the
update.
permits, you will spend that.
Yes, oh yeah,
spend
no,
the weekend
charge for
in
that monthly
jail.
report that he
Oh.
just puts a
I
little
mean,
lines
he
on
didn't play
there.
around.
Didn't play
And
around.
travel
That's,
And
and
also,
meeting time, yeah.
well,
Well, I think that's what John Kinsett did for a while, remember? John
He already had
Kinsett
the whole done,
was
ready to pack it in.
not having them
Filled
come
it
for a
5 feet
while,
wide.
right?